And now I'm going to have a chat with our resident pollster, Frank Luntz. Frankie, thank you for being here, dear man.
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Oh, that's lovely. Now, when I met you the second time in an elevator, you were amused that I just read your book.
Yes,
right?
You made me speechless.
And what was the name of the book?
Words That Work.
So explain why your expertise helped you to write that book.
So my job is to understand how Americans feel. It's actually a global experience. And to know the power of words to change minds, to change hearts, to be able to communicate to you.
But how did you discover that?
I discovered it by accident. I had been told, thank you very much. You're welcome.
Go away.
So there's a difference, by the way, between he's a worker versus an employee. So I realized how well dressed he is. Clearly polyester, not natural fibers. If you call him a worker, that means he works 9 to 5. If you call him an employee, that suggests that he has a career. That suggests something significant. So even though you may not like him, I could understand why.
Yeah.
Just by changing how you label him, you change his relationship with you and your relationship with him.
Yeah, I get that. But what I'm interested in is how do you know which is the better? You said to me once, you said, never say you write anything, always say you craft it.
Because writing is pedestrian.
Yeah.
The two gentlemen playing chess right now, they can be writers. But if you craft something, that suggests something special, an expertise.
But how did you acquire your expertise? I mean, were you always listening to this? You were at Oxford for a year.
I hated it.
Yeah, I know. But
I hated it every minute. And you can see
hated every minute.
that I wear the Union Jack with pride. I'm an Anglophile. I love being an Anglophile. I love your work. I love the comedy. I love the culture. And I look at my country, and I'm so disappointed. And I hate these Americans who come to a foreign country and bash their own. And I find myself doing it because we're not the same country. Don't move that, by the way. Put that pawn back. That is not the move. The move would have been your queen. Come on, put the pawn back.
Yeah, the queen.
And don't screw that up. And by the way, I just want you all to know, the nuns behind us,
Yes.
they're cheating. I'll let you deal with that.
You cheating, Pamela?
Yes.
She nodded. How'd you know? But we were
Because I watched this
when
stuff.
When you were at Oxford, were you already noticing this business about the words? It's fascinating. But where did the impulse come from to study this, to see which words are good and which aren't? Where did it come from?
It came from a Speaker of the House named Newt Gingrich. And he said to me, we don't have a language guy. We have a theoretician, but we don't have someone who focuses on the messaging. Would you be willing to do that? This happened in 1993. And the first examination I did of this was the idea of the difference between an orphanage and a foster home. A foster home sounds nicer, but it's actually much worse than an orphanage. And Newt Gingrich, right around Christmas time of 1994, talked about the importance of supporting orphanages. And the public condemned him. He lost his significant support because all they could think of was Tiny Tim and A Christmas Carol, and it made Newt Gingrich into the Grinch. That's Gingrich, the Grinch that stole Christmas. That was the first time that I studied language. If you call something an estate tax, you're rich. If you call it a death tax, you just died. If you call it climate change, it's not so bad. If you call it global warming, it's really frightening. Even in the stuff that we drink. You call this a carbonated, it means that it's got chemicals. You call this sparkling, it's a fun taste of the mouth. If you call it gambling, you're addicted. If you call it gaming, that's Las Vegas.
That's very good. Those are good examples, because I always wonder when people buy pre-owned cars, whether they would have bought a used car.
Yes, but you missed it. It's certified pre-owned. If it's certified, you're guaranteeing that someone beat the crap out of your car. But the word certified is significant. It's powerful. And we see it right now, even in terminology of the government. The respect that people have. It's not about diversity. It's not about inclusion. It's about respect. If I show you respect, that's the highest value that I can demonstrate to you. I respect your craft. I respect your humor.
You got this information from a poll?
From polling and focus groups and asking questions, which has a bigger impact on you? Which matters more?
Oh, you were asking individuals.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
A typical survey. He's a really bad player. I wouldn't pay attention to him.
Why don't you resign now? You can go and have a drink. What?
This is just so distracting. And even looking around this room, I see that he's wearing a white jacket, which he should not do until the 4th of July. I see that the two of them are drinking with hats inside, and they should not be wearing them. I see the nuns back there. I notice that they're cheating. You have to look. And this is no joke. You actually study how people look at you. When I talk to you, you make eye contact. Most people don't. Most people look away.
That surprises me. Most people don't.
Most people don't because they're intimidated by it. So when they see that someone's looking at them, they'll look down, they'll look around. They don't pay direct attention to it. I see how this room is constructed. I see how far the tables are from each other. I see where the lights are placed.
You see, one of the things I do in this area is in this series, I'm trying to be closer to the people I'm interviewing because I think that gives a slight sense of intimacy and people are more likely to forget the surroundings and get involved in the conversation.
And what's different from this is most shows that are discussion-oriented, you're on a couch or you've got a chair and the guests are on a couch. This is much more personal. You've got your chair, I've got my chair.
Yeah.
This is how you elicit how people really feel. We're afraid to say what we really think. We're afraid of being canceled. We're afraid of being judged. And your effort is to bring out the truth. And there's nothing more important than the truth. And this is why I'm in Great Britain and not in the US, because the US has lost respect for the truth. Our politicians, our business leaders, the substance of these conversations are so important right now. But we say things to make ourselves look good.
Yeah.
Rather than what we truly feel. Yeah. And the challenge right now is, how do you tell the truth so that people trust you? How do you know that what you read is the truth? How do you know that what you see on the BBC or ITN or Channel 4, how do you know that it's the truth? Because if we lose the truth, we lose democracy.
Absolutely.
My greatest fear, and you have it in Britain with your former Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. We have it in America with Donald Trump. But the two of them, by the way, they're not the same.
They have a lot of similarities.
Boris has written more books than Trump has read.
Oh, yes.
Trump has colored in more books than Boris has written. There's something I want you to see. I don't know if there's a way to get my computer.
Yes, Louis, can we get Frankie's computer? Oh, look. He's having a little drink, aren't you, sweetie?
You know, that reminds me of your second wife.
Okay, tell me what this is about, and we can show it to the audience too.
We asked the question about what mattered most to democracy, to the future of the country, and nothing matters more than the truth. This has been my life for the last 10 years. I'm the passionate pursuit of the truth, no matter what.
If I don't have the truth, how on earth do I know how to vote or what movement to attach myself?
And the good news is that's exactly what the population thinks as well. Even more than transparency, even more than integrity, without the truth, you cannot have a strong democracy, you cannot have an effective media, you cannot have a performing academia. Nothing can function without the truth. This allows us to say to our elected officials, look me straight in the eye and tell me what really is, not what you want it to be.
But are any of them going to do that, Frankie? I mean, they're all minding their own backs, aren't they?
There are some things more important than an election. There are some things more important than making people feel good.
Yes, but they've got to be very special people before they feel that, don't they?
But we have to hope that we have enough of them.
Yeah?
Clearly, it's not necessarily in the leadership in your country or my country. And it's why I left my country. It's why I'm here right now.
So have you basically switched residence?
Every year I come here for 2 or 3 months to get my bearings again, to get
Oh, he switched it on for us again. I do notice here, Frankie, down bottom right, all the things that are least important are seriousness,
tolerance,
reconciliation,
dignity.
And clarity?
Yes.
How can you have truth without clarity? This is very strange.
I do find it interesting that even your cat
Yeah.
understands the importance of this. John, you make people laugh. You make people feel good for 30 minutes at a time, or in a movie, 90 minutes, 2 hours. But so many people are so afraid of the future, are so concerned about their families,
Yes.
about freedom, and they don't have the answers to fix it. The economic challenges right now gave rise to Boris Johnson in this country and Donald Trump in America. The feeling of being ignored, forgotten, left behind, even betrayed. These are serious emotions that lead to
absolutely.
January 6th, that lead to conflict. And if we don't address them, then even a master showman, a master comedian, a craftsman with words, even we will fail.
Do you think there's anything that I or you or somebody listening in can do now to help to make things just a tiny bit better?
You have to demand that people look you straight in the eye and tell you the way things are. You have to insist that where you get your news is accurate, factual, and comprehensive, so you get all sides of the story.
Yes.
When I first met you, I was pretty partisan, and I was very careful about having.
Well, you were center-right when you first met me.
But I was partisan, and I'm not partisan anymore. My fear is that the left does it and the right does it.
Oh, yeah.
The right may do it better than the left, but they both try to do it. And in the end, we have to reject that. We have to say enough is enough. In fact, the word that I love more than any other word in the English language was reconciliation.
Yeah.
The idea that these British chess players and these alcoholics sitting right there and the nuns that are behind me can actually get along.
Yeah.
That was my goal.
Have fun together, yeah.
And now it's empathy. It's knowing where you come from, knowing what your challenges are, and actually showing some heart. Not just head, but heart too.
One other question. Will you shut up?
Yes. You can ask me
I've
anything.
always wanted to say that to someone.